Hey everyone, the Landclad Gamer here, and this is a different episode because I'm doing my Premier League predictions. So obviously I support football team, Liverpool, and yeah, I thought I'd do my Premier League predictions for the 2021 season. So without further ado, let's get into it. So everyone, with my number 20 spot, I've gone with Newcastle United, and I've gone with them simply because of their takeover did not happen. So when they were going to get the takeover, I thought, right, okay, they're going to be definitely safe. Big money's going to be coming in, signing big signings. Like I think Felipe Coutinho was linked with them at one point, and I think there was an Mbappe rumor, which was a little bit over the top. But when they were getting that takeover, everyone thought they were going to be safe, and everyone thought that they were going to finally become like they were in the 90s. But unfortunately, that takeover did not happen, and I feel like this season they're going to have no motive. They're going to have nothing to play for apart from survive, and I don't think they are going to survive because who's going to want to go to Newcastle United this season having no owners? I don't think they have any owners right now, unless the previous owner has had to come back. I do not know, but I think they're going to have just a really bad season. But I think they'll bounce back from it and maybe get promoted the next season after that. So my 20th position is Newcastle United. Sorry, Newcastle fans. And in at my number 19th spot, I've got West Bromwich Albion. Now they literally just got promoted this last season in the Championship. They got second place, but for me, they didn't go up convincingly. Now I bet you're wondering, hold on a minute, they got second place, but if it wasn't for Brentford completely choking their matches, Brentford could have got promoted because West Brom, I don't think they won any of their last three games, and basically it was up to Brentford whether if they would get promoted, and they couldn't win, and it meant that West Brom went up. And I just think that they're just not going to do well at all. I think they're going to do alright at the start, but I think they'll have a bit of a wobble mid-season, and then I think they're just going to, from there, just plummet down the table and eventually get relegated. It's a real shame because they have some good, signings. Who knows what will happen? But I think they're going to get relegated, just simply because they didn't go up convincingly, in my opinion. They did get second, but if they would have won their last few matches and if it wasn't up to Brentford, then I would have said they might have survived. But for me, 19th place, West Bromwich Albion. Sorry. So everyone, my 18th place is Brighton. Now Brighton have been kind of going towards the relegation spaces now for the last 2 years. The previous season they almost went into relegation, and I thought they might have, but they actually got out. But I think this season not going to happen. They're not going to have that luck that I think they've had the last two seasons of just getting out. And I think if you're a club that does that for like a few seasons, eventually you're going to get into the drop zone and you're going to go down. And they do have some good signings. They have Morpay, have Trossard, and they did beat a few big clubs last season. But I think this year it's just too far, and I don't think they're going to survive this season. I think it's going to be a last day drop for them though, because they are in the 18th spot. So I think it's going to be between Brighton and Fulham on the very last day, and I think Fulham are literally just going to get out. It's a real shame because Brighton have had a good few seasons in the Premier League, and with the players they have, who knows, they could get out, but I just don't think they are. They've been towards the relegation spots now for the last two seasons, and I think this season is the season for them to go down. So yeah, sorry Brighton fans. So in 17th place, I've got Fulham. Now Fulham got promoted via the playoffs last year, and I think they're going to have a quite a rocky season, kind of like a gasping like what's going to happen. But I think they're just going to survive. Like I said on the last day, I think they're just going to survive. I don't think they're going to make the same mistake as they made the previous time they were in the Premier League. I think they're going to learn from that. Scott Parker's a good manager. He got them right back out of the Championship after taking over. And yeah, they won the playoffs, which for me, if you win the playoffs, it's kind of like controversial because obviously you've won the playoffs, you've had to work harder, but it's like you kind of didn't get the automatic promotion. So obviously they won for the playoffs, and I think they're just going to survive. I think they got that good quality in their team, and I think it's not their first time in the Premier League. They have been in the Premier League before lots of times, so they have that kind of experience as a club, and I think they're just going to survive. So 17th place, Fulham. So everyone, in 16th place, I have Crystal Palace. Now this was kind of a weird one because Crystal Palace lost 8 games in a row when the restart happened, and I was thinking about putting them in relegation, but I don't know. There was something about it in my gut that I thought, you know what, I don't think Crystal Palace would get relegated. I don't know. They have something in their team that I just think that they'll be able to survive with that. A bit like West Ham last season when they had that bit of extra quality and they survived. I was going to put them in relegation in my old table that I made, but then I put them out of it and I put Newcastle in there. And I put Newcastle in there. I've said it before earlier, and that's why I swapped them around. But yeah, I think Crystal Palace are going to have kind of a bad season this year. They lost 8 games in a row. They didn't look like a team that would survive next season, and they might not still. You never know. Take this with a pinch of salt. The transfer window is still open at the moment as I'm recording this video. I'm recording this in late August. So the transfer window at the moment still has 41 days left. So any club could sign any player, and this could be completely different, and Crystal Palace could go down and Newcastle could stay up. And anyway, anyone could stay up in my predictions. I could be all wrong, but I think Crystal Palace will survive anyway, just. And yeah, so in 16th place I have Crystal Palace. So everyone, in 15th place I have Aston Villa. Now Aston Villa are a team that just barely survived last season, but I think they're going to have a better season this year. They've survived the first season, and now I think good times are ahead for them. I think that they're going to get Ollie Watkins. They're rumoured with him at the moment. I think they're going to get a few other good signings. And yeah, I think relatively with the other teams that are going to be near relegation, I think they'll have a better season. Last season, they were so close to going down. I was actually happy they stayed up. I was rooting for them. I like Jack Grealish. I like some of the players they have. And some of you guys might be saying that it might be a bit biased of me to put them in 15th because I like them, but I do think genuinely that they will stay up. People are predicting them to be in like relegation again, and I'm like, what? But how can you say that when they're linked with like Ollie Watkins from Brentford, who scored like 21 goals last season for them, and he was like their main man last year. So if they get Ollie Watkins, I think they'll be safe. And I think they will get him anyway. But Aston Villa in 15th. In 14th place, I have Sheffield United. Now, some of you guys will be thinking, whoa, this is an outrageous prediction. But I do think they'll have a bit of a wobble this season. I think they're going to have second season syndrome. I don't think they're going to do as well. People predict them last year to go down. So, I mean, Sheffield United, if you're a Sheffield United fan, you'd probably be happy with this prediction because I'm predicting you to stay up. So, when a lot of people last year were saying you were going to go down. So, I think they'll survive. They have some good players. But I think their goalkeeper will play a big part in it because they're going to lose Dean Henderson, I think. And they've got Aaron Ramsdale, who was a Bournemouth goalkeeper last year, and he was okay, but he was the Bournemouth goalkeeper, and who went down? Bournemouth. So I don't think they're going to do very well this season because of him. I mean, I could be totally wrong. He could be a really good goalkeeper. He is a good goalkeeper, but I think Dean Henderson's better, and I think he was a big part in their success last season, keeping out a lot of goals. But yeah, Sheffield United anyway, 14th. So everyone, in 13th place I have West Ham. Now West Ham had a bit of a bad season last year, but I think that's about to change. They have good quality in their team. They have a good manager of David Moyes, and I think he'll get them to safety. And 13th. I don't know how many points they'll finish on. I mean, 13th place could be really close to 15th, but we never know. The Premier League seasons are always different every year, but I think they'll be safe nonetheless. And yeah, I think that man right there, Haller, will score a lot more goals for them next season. I think he will score a few crucial goals for them that will keep them up. And keep them out of that relegation pact, that relegation camp, and I think that they will stay up this season. So, good luck West Ham. So everyone, in my 12th position I have Southampton. Southampton actually surprised me last season with Danny Ings. He scored a lot of goals for them, and I thought he was actually going to win the Golden Boot at one point. He was so close. He's an ex-Liverpool player, so I actually quite like him. It's a shame that he didn't perform like that for us, but oh well. We have Mohamed Salah and stuff, so it's fine. But yeah, Southampton, I think they're going to be safe. Just have a good season in general for them. 12th place, safe, and they can play for the next season after that. So yeah, 12th place, Southampton. So everyone, in 11th place I have Burnley. Now Burnley last year got 10th, I think. I think they got top 10. And I think they're going to just drop one more place down. I think they're going to finish 11th next season. But I still think they're going to have a very good season. Sean Dyche, pretty good manager. He always gets the best out of his team. Burnley are like the team that always scores headers. And that's a pretty good thing in a team because, you can score a lot more different goals. And yeah, I think they're going to have a very good season. Just like last year, but I think they're just going to finish one less than they did last season. And yeah, 11th place Burnley. So everyone, in my 10th spot is Leeds. Now Leeds are back in the Premier League after 16 years. I'm looking forward to seeing them back. And I'll be really happy if this prediction does come true, to be fair, because Leeds have been out of the Premier League for 16 years. They've been waiting a long time for this. The fans have been waiting for Ellen Road to be, rocking, playing against teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, Tottenham, Arsenal, every single Premier League team. They've been waiting for that for a long time, and I think Leeds fans do deserve it, as they did have a few kind of rough seasons being out of the Premier League, And I do believe that they'll do really well. I think they'll do a little bit like a Sheffield United. I think they'll finish quite strong. I think they'll do really well. And it's well worth the wait for them if that does happen, because it'd be a shame to see them drop right back down, do a bit of like a Norwich or something, get first place and then become like 20th. It'd be a real shame for the fans, because they've been waiting for 16 years. Like, imagine waiting 16 years for something to happen, and then you finally happens, and then the next year it all goes wrong. And I don't think that will happen because, Leeds manager is really good. Marcelo Bielsa, he's really good. And I do think the first game of the season, Liverpool-Leeds, will be a really good game. I think Liverpool win, but I think Leeds will put up a really good fight, and I think that it will show other Premier League teams that, wow, okay, this team competes with the best. And they deserve to be in the Premier League as well, Leeds. They deserve, they're a Premier League side, and I'm happy they're back. So everyone, we're up into 9th now, and I've predicted 9th place to go to Everton. Now, Everton will have a better season this year. They had a bit of a rocky season last year under Marco Silva, but they got rid of him. And as a Liverpool fan, I can tell you now, truthfully, that I was enjoying that, seeing them lose. And I enjoyed the game 5-2 last year. We beat them, that got Marco Silva sacked. But actually, as an Everton fan, that might have been probably one of the best things that happened to them, because after that game, Marco Silva was sacked, and they got Carlo Ancelotti, who is a very good manager, but I think he has to have time to rebuild the Everton squad. And I think players like Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin will play a big part in their season next year, getting them into the top 10 and pushing for that Europa League maybe. And I think they'll have a better season next year. And 9th place goes to Everton. So everyone, now we're up into 8th position, and 8th is Wolves. Now, Wolves, they got to Europa League semi-finals or quarter-finals last year. Well, it happened this year, just a few weeks ago actually. And I thought for a minute it might have been actually maybe a Wolves-Man United final before that game happened between Wolves and Sevilla. But unfortunately for them, it actually didn't happen, and they lost. But they actually put up a good fight against Sevilla, and they are a team that can push for Europa League, but I don't think they are this year. I think they're going to have a little bit of a slip-up. I don't know what will happen, but I just don't think they're going to push it, especially with teams like Arsenal and Tottenham being better next season, I think, considering last season Tottenham and Arsenal had a bit of a wobble, which allowed Wolves and Leicester and stuff to kind of push for it. But nonetheless, I think they're still going to have a good season. I think they're going to come back stronger, and hopefully the next season after that will be pushing back for the Europa League. They might even get Europa League. You actually literally never know. But yeah, I think they're going to finish 8th. So everyone, in 7th position, I've gone for Leicester City. Now, Leicester City last year actually had a kind of an all-rounded season. Start, they were doing really well. I think they were second at one point, and everyone thought, oh, they're going to win the league again. And as a Liverpool fan, I was like, no chance. No, not happening. I'm not allowing that to happen. As a Liverpool fan, I wanted to win the league. I wanted us to win the league last year, and it didn't happen. And then they slipped out of the top 4 on the very last day, and then got 5th. But they still got Europa League, and I think that next season Leicester might actually even win not the Champions League. That's what they will get into if they win the Europa League next year. But I think they'll win the Europa League next year, maybe be a strong contender for it. And, with people like Chilwell leaving for Chelsea, obviously there'll be a spot available for other players to come in. And Maddison signing a new deal with them will be a big, yes, we're keeping him. Vardy will play a big part in their season next year, I think, as well, in the Europa League. But, yeah, Chilwell leaving to Chelsea, I've just found that out. I think Chelsea do need a new left-back. So it'll be a very big move for him. And I think, Vardy will stay until the end of his career. I don't think he'll be going anywhere. Maddison signed a new deal. So yeah, Leicester will have another good season next year. But unfortunately, I think the big 6 clubs will unfortunately kick them out, and they'll be 7th next season. So yeah, 7th place, Leicester City. So everyone, now we're into the top 6 of the table, which means, I think this means Europa League now for the teams forward in 6th and 5th, and then Champions League for 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st. So my 6th position, I've gone for Tottenham. Now Tottenham actually got 6th last year, I believe, just getting that Europa League space, and I think it'll be no different next season. Jose Mourinho needs to rebuild his Tottenham team. He took over last year when Mauricio Pochettino left. And I think he needs a bit more time to rebuild, because Jose Mourinho is a very good manager, but he needs time to rebuild and get the players that he wants to make Tottenham his. And I think he needs a few more seasons for that to happen. But I think that they'll be better, and I think that they will get 6th. They have signed Joe Hart, I believe, which is a backup goalkeeper, I'm guessing, because Joe Hart hasn't really played like any football, I think, for a while. I think Burnley was the last team he played for. But I do think that they'll do much better this year under Jose Mourinho, and I think they'll get sixth, which is Europa League, and I think that it could be Europa League could be theirs for the taking. It could be a Leicester Tottenham final, and that'd be a good final actually, because it'd be an all English Europa League final. But I think I'd like to see Leicester win that. I don't know why. Maybe because Tottenham can win bigger things than Europa League. But yeah, nonetheless, I think they're going to get that Europa League space again next season, and I think they're going to have a much better season overall. So yeah, sixth place Tottenham. So everyone, in fifth position, I've gone for Arsenal now. Mikel Arteta has completely turned around Arsenal last season. He won the FA Cup, he beat Man City, he beat Liverpool. And yeah, I think he's a good manager, and I think he will get them places. Arsenal have signed Willian, Gabriel, and yeah, I think they're going to have a much better season just in general. Last season for them wasn't their best, but that was just unfortunate for them. But I think it was a needed season. Unai Emery just was not the manager for them. He just wasn't good. I think even when he first took over the club, I was like, what? Why do they have him? He's not going to be good, and he wasn't. I don't think he really understood like anything to do with that football club. He wasn't really the man for the job. But Mikel Arteta, former Arsenal player, he actually won the FA Cup with Arsenal as a player, and now he's won it as the manager. And I think good times are ahead for Arsenal. And they should be, because they should be pushing for the Champions League again, and maybe even pushing for the title soon enough. But yeah, I think they're going to get fifth place this season. So everyone, my fourth place position is Man United. They finished fourth last year. Don't think it'll be any different next year. I don't think they'll be pushing for the title just yet. But I think they finished fourth. Bruno Fernandes coming in last year was very good for them. Turned that season around. But they have been linked with Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish. Apparently they're prolonging the deal with Jadon Sancho because they don't really want to pay the money, so they're waiting an extra year. And I don't think Jack Grealish will be leaving Aston Villa at any point. I think he'll be waiting another few seasons. Apparently he signed a new deal maybe with Villa. We don't know yet, but I think he's staying at Villa, so that knocks him off the list. And Jadon Sancho, I don't know. But like I said beforehand in this video, the transfer market is still open, so anything can happen in these next 40 days or so with the transfer window still being open. But yeah, I still think they have a very good season, unfortunately, because I'm a Liverpool fan, so I don't want it to happen. But I still think, nonetheless, the truth is the truth, and I think they'll get fourth place, unfortunately. So yeah, got to give credit when credit is due. So fourth place for Man United. So everyone, my third place is Chelsea. Now they've been very busy boys in the transfer market this season. They've signed a lot of players in Werner and Ziyech, which if you look at that already, that's some big signings there, and it's yet to be confirmed, but apparently they're looking to sign Kai Havertz, Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell. That's to be confirmed by the end of the week if that is going to be true, and apparently Lewis Dunk is linked in there as well, but I think if they sign Thiago Silva, Lewis Dunk's off the list, because they've already got good centre-backs in like Kurt Zouma and Rudiger, so why would they need another centre-back added to that? I don't think they will. But if all these signings had to happen, all them 5 signings had to happen, well, 2 of them have already happened, but if all them signings had to happen, Chelsea are a force to be reckoned with, and I think they'll be title contenders, because that is loads of quality signings. You've got a striker in there, you've got a winger, you've got a cam, you've got a centre back and a left back, and if you add them to the current Chelsea squad with like the likes of Mason Mount, N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, you've got a title contending squad there. But I don't think it'll happen this season. I think the next season they might win it. You never know. They could completely sweep the Premier League this year, but I don't think it'll happen. With the likes of Man City, Liverpool contending for it as well, especially with Liverpool and especially Man City want to get revenge this season and prove that they are the champions. I think that they will definitely get third place for Chelsea. So yeah, who knows? They could get first place, but it's very unlikely considering that if they do get all these players, they need to gel and they need to get used to each other and they need to get into a rhythm. And I think Frank Lampard is just going to still look to strengthen this team even after that as well, maybe. And maybe even get a few little signings in the into the winter transfer. You never know. Like, say if some of these signings don't happen right away, they might get them in the winter transfer market. But yeah, this makes me kind of worried to face Chelsea now, because looking at this squad, if that all happens, I'm going to be worried to face Chelsea next year, and that's kind of good in a way for Chelsea fans, because last season no offense, but I was not worried about playing Chelsea last year. When we played them last year, I was like, yeah, it's just Chelsea. We're gonna beat them, and we did. So third place is Chelsea. So we've come down to it. It's the last two teams, and of course, Man City, Liverpool. I think everyone. I think if you click on any Premier League predictions, the top two teams will be Man City, Liverpool. But second place is Man City. I think Liverpool are going to win it again. I don't think it's going to be any different from last season, really. But I think Man City will have a better season. I don't think they're going to be like 18 points or 20 points behind. I think they have a better season. But I think Man City are going to struggle a little bit, especially with the likes of Chelsea, Man United. And I think Liverpool are going to struggle as well a little bit. But I think that Man City and Liverpool will be going at it again. I think they'll be at each other's throats again for the title. And I think eventually it will break off half through the season to being a Man City Liverpool race. And I think that Man City Liverpool will leave the likes of Chelsea and Man United behind. But yeah, nonetheless, I think Man City will have a better season, and I think they'll have a better season in the Champions League as well. I mean, there's only a matter of time before they win that trophy. I think Man City fans can relax a little bit in knowing that eventually your time will come. I mean, our 30-year wait for the title ended last year. So no matter what happens, your club is very good. You have a lot of good players like Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero. You have quality signings as well, and I'm pretty sure you're going to bring in some new people this season, especially to strengthen your squad. And I think you'll win that Champions League trophy anytime soon, and you might even win the Premier League this year, but I don't think that's going to happen because Liverpool will be on it again, and I think Liverpool are going to win it in front of their fans, because obviously, with the whole COVID thing this year we couldn't, but yeah, second place is Man City. So we're down to the final team, Liverpool being first again. People were saying you're being a bit biased because you're a Liverpool fan, but I do believe we'll win it again. I mean, if you look back to the Man United days where we used to retain their title, you look back to the Man City of 2 years ago when they retained their title. I don't think it'll be any different with us. I think we're going to retain it. It'll be a lot harder though, especially with teams like Chelsea and Man City and Man United and Tottenham Arsenal being a lot better this season. I think we'll still retain it though. And yeah, I think it'd be an all-rounded season for us. To win it in front of our fans again, will be good, because obviously last season we couldn't win it in front of our fans because of the whole COVID-19 situation. But I think next year, if we win it in front of our fans, I think just like the Liverpool players will be like, right, okay, we've won it in front of the fans now. But I think we'll still have that mentality of we keep going until we get that title again. Because that's what it was about last year, really. We lost it the season before by 1 point, and I think that stuck in our minds, and we wanted to win it again, and we did win it last year, but I think it'll be no different this season. I think we're going to win it again, and yeah, hopefully it isn't 2-0 to Man City next year, because that could actually destroy our title hopes, because obviously, Liverpool do come across Man City in, I think it's November, in the Premier League fixtures, and then we play them again in February. So if we can win Man City both times, I think we have the title in the bag. But yeah, so this is the end of the Premier League predictions. Hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously, take this with a pinch of salt. The transfer window is still open as I'm making this video on August 25th. The transfer window is still open, so anything can happen. And yeah, obviously, this table was very hard to make. Me and my brother went over it loads of times, switching out that relegation spaces. And, it's just my predictions. A lot of people were making different predictions. I've actually watched a few videos of other people's predictions already, and I've seen people place Villa and Leeds into relegation, which for me is crazy considering Leeds, I think they have a very good season. Villa is kind of like a safe one, I think, to go with. Going all Villa being relegated because they won it last year. I think that's a safe option, and I don't think that will happen anyway. But yeah, thank you for watching my predictions. I'm probably going to review these at the end of next season and be like, what the hell did I predict? Because I've gone with a few bold statements this season. But, anything can happen in football. So, yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.